Hi guys, Miss Carrie here. Today we are going to read Glitch in the Matrix stories. This is the third part, guys, and I highly recommend to check the first two parts, which has some really freakish and interesting stories. I will also link it in the description below. Okay, let's start. In February of 2022, I was driving through a Midwestern US. Not sure how much detail I am supposed to put, but as I was approaching the outer limits of a bigger city in Ohio around 2 am, out of cigarettes, almost out of gas, and still had about 3 hours left to get home, maps said the next open gas station was a travel center on the other side of the city. Car said I had barely enough gas to get there, so I'm just trying to drive as conservatively as I can. Then I see a brightly lit speedway that looked open. You can see it from the freeway. So I exit and go to fill up. I am the only car there. The pump does not accept my credit card and gives me an error each time I punch in my zip code. Okay, I figure it's the car reader. So I go inside to pay and ask the cashier for a pack of cigarettes. I'm telling him the brand, but he finishes my sentence, then says, I thought you were quitting, in a sort of a joking tone, which my tired brain didn't think too much of. A lot of places I regularly get cigarettes remember the kind I like and recognize me. And as a baby faced woman, I get a lot of comments and jokes about how I should quit. So I didn't think much of it until later, which I realized I had never stopped there before and didn't recognize the cashier. Anyways, he rings me up, my credit card declines again, I pay cash and go on my way. Didn't think much of it again. That cashier must have worked at a different gas station where I have seen him before, I thought, and assumed I must have tried my card too many times at the pump and it got locked for fraud or something. I drive the same route 2 to 3 more times in 2022. One time I'm running out of gas in almost the same place, and I remember that speedway and which exit it was at. But as I approach the exit, during the day this time, there's no sign for the gas station, and you can't see it at all from the freeway. I assume I passed it or remember wrong, but it's daytime now and way more gas stations are open, and I just go to one of the next exit. Then end up moving to that city in 2023 and occasionally drive past that same exit. Once in a while, thinking, I swear there used to be a gas station there, even though it would be kind of a weird spot for a gas station on a large verge. This spring, they started construction in that exact spot. Now there's a speedway that hasn't opened yet. It looks exactly like how I remember, on the verge, retaining wall on one side and multiple one-way ramps entering and exiting the verge on the other side. I don't think I could have remembered that wrong. I can't help but wonder if I somehow glitched into the future. I went to a gas station 3.5 years ago that still hasn't opened yet. I think my card got declined because I moved and the zip code for my building address would be different now. Or maybe it was expired in the future, who knows. I'm also kind of hopeful because lately I have been kind of considering quitting smoking. But my visit implies that I keep smoking after the new speedway opens at least long enough for the cashier to recognize me before telling him that I am quitting. I don't know. I'm kind of scared to go there once it opens and get a slight sense of dread whenever I drive past it. At the same time, I really want to sketch a picture of what it looked like inside and then go visit and compare. It would both be vindicating and terrifying if it's how I remember inside too, though. Either way, it feels like a sign from the universe to quit smoking, so maybe I'll just do that and never go back there. So, I have a second cousin who has been married to his wife for about 20 years. About 7 years ago, I went to a family reunion that he, his wife, and their two daughters were at. At one point, I was watching all of the kids, including my own. His daughters' names were Hannah and Haley. I spent time with those girls, I took them fishing. My daughter remembers both of them. because she was the older cousin. About 2 years later, I saw a post on Facebook that they had taken Hannah to Disney World. I was confused because I was like, where is Haley? I have seen and taken pictures of her. My daughter also remembers her. They posted lots of other posts where they were doing stuff with Hannah. So naturally, I asked about Haley, and they both stated that they did not have a daughter named Haley. I remember having a conversation with my cousin's wife about the spelling of their daughter's name. So I went back into my Google Photos to see if I could find a picture of Haley, and she was not there. My daughter had pictures of her in her phone as well, and she was freaked out because they were also gone. Like the pictures were still there, but Haley was not in them. No one else in the family remembers her, even though some of the pictures were of aunts, uncles, and cousins with her. It's like somebody photoshopped her out of all of the existing pictures. I am so confused like what happened to her? How does this child not exist that I remember fishing with? I even asked multiple family members if they knew any child named Haley because I thought, well, maybe she was somebody else's kid. No one knows who she is, and even my mom states that she does not remember the name. Oh, what the hell is happening, guys? Edit. There's an edit. To answer some questions, I noticed this about 5 years ago. I did do a deep dive into it. I googled things and people involved. I found other girls with the same name, but none of them were her. I went through old photos. I was convinced something had happened to her and no one wanted to talk about it. I asked so many other cousins, uncles, aunts, and Haley's grandparents. My daughter had taken a bunch of selfies with her cousins as they had camped out a couple of nights in the same tent. She was gone from all the pictures, even the one I had her of her and my great aunt of just the two of them. My daughter was 14 at the time. My son was 11 and he doesn't remember Haley either. My cousin's wife did have multiple miscarriages after Hannah, and that's why she said they only have the one child. Maybe she was a ghost that only me and my daughter can see. My best friend and I were out running errands. We were in one store, and the cashier said to us, "Oh my god, are you guys sisters? You look alike." We told the cashier when we were younger, we always used to get that, and we haven't heard that in years. We go to the next store, we go to the cashier, and again they asked, "Are you two sisters? You guys look alike." We responded with, "Wow, we haven't got that in years, and we got it twice today." We are now in the car driving through town and we are just chatting and we're both saying how funny it is that we were told we looked alike twice today, where we probably haven't heard that in about 10 years now. Now, when we are together, conversations can get stupid and silly and we just talk about anything. So for some reason, we started talking about the dentist and was asking like, do you have your wisdom teeth? Do you have your tonsils still? We get home to my house and I parked on the street. To get to my house, you have to go down the whole entire street, then turn around to the park on the right side of the road. So we went down the whole street, turn around, which means we were able to get a view of the whole entire street to see if someone was driving or walking, parking, etc. At this time, we have not seen anyone but ourselves on the street. It was cold outside, not really a common time for people to be walking. We exit the car and walk up my driveway, which is a long driveway to the left of the house. We are about 3 to 4 of the way there, and we hear someone call us saying, "Hey girls." We turn around, and there is a boy, probably about 15 to 16 years old, up the driveway with us. Not in the street, not at the end of the driveway, but a couple of feet away from us. I was immediately sketched out because I knew there was no one on the street, and now there's someone standing right next to me in my driveway. I'm instantly in protective mode and was very confused. We begin to just say hi, and then he asks us, "Can we be friends? How old are you guys?" Initially, we don't really respond because at this point, we don't know what to say or who he is or where he came from. Then he proceeds and asks us, "You girls look alike. Are you guys sisters?" At this point, I am in fight or flight mode. I notice my friend is just kind of baffled. We tell him, no, we are just best friends. At this point, I am very confused because this is now the third time we have gotten this today, but in a very different environment. His next question is, do you know what I want to be when I grow up? He answers his own question before we can answer, and he says, I want to be a dentist. Neither of us are able to speak because his next question is, do you girls have your wisdom teeth? How about your tonsils? For some odd reason, we both answer these questions, and then he says, can I see? Open your mouths. I was not opening my mouth, but my best friend, for some reason, decided to open her mouth. I grabbed her. We told him we had to go, and we ran inside. We are now sitting on the couch in complete shock, not even able to speak. My boyfriend is just as thoroughly confused because he watched this from the window and asked who he was, and we told him we have no idea. We don't even know where he came from. Fast forward to a few days later, I come home from work, and my boyfriend at the time says that the kid came back looking for us and that he was going to come back another day. I never saw him again. To this day, we don't know where he came from and why he asked those questions and how he knew everything we spoke about that day. This is the freakiest thing that has ever happened to me. About 16 or 17 years ago, we bought a desk that had a big drawer. This was my wife's pride and joy. And when it was about 1 year old, our place got broken into, and the robber jumped through the window onto the table. This is important as the table and also the front of the drawer got scratched. We moved house and city, and the drawer stayed in storage for about 3 or 4 years. When we got it out of storage, the drawer was missing. This was about 12 years ago. I have been hearing literally for the last 12 years about how I must have lost the drawer and it is my fault, and how much of a shame it is that the drawer is missing. Come to last weekend, and we went back to the city we used to live in for a few days holiday. We were walking down a street a few blocks from where we used to live, and the topic of whatever happened to the drawer came up. I was like, not again, just drop it finally. Then, literally a minute later, leaning against the wall of an apartment block was a black desk drawer. A note, guys, this is Germany, and people, if they want to get rid of old furniture, they tend to leave it on the street, leaning against the wall for people to take it for free. We both looked at each other and were like, what the fuck? When we got closer, we were like, OMG, it has the same scratch marks on it. This cannot be. We were dumbfounded. We took it with us, and to our absolute amazement, it fit right into our desk. Our freaking desk drawer turned up on the street a few blocks from where we used to live approximately 12 years later. The chance that someone had it that long, then decided to throw it out the exact evening that we walked past 12 years later is just mind blowing. We have no idea how, where, and when, and why it went missing. But after all these years, we were reunited at last. Can someone calculate the odds of this happening? This happened yesterday, and I'm still freaked out. I'm a writer, and I have a well worn copy of Stephen King's On Writing that I have had since college. I was quoting a line from it to a friend over text, but couldn't remember the exact phrasing. I went to my bookshelf, pulled it out, and found the page. I left the book open on my coffee table and went to the kitchen to get a drink. I was gone for maybe 90 seconds. When I came back, the book was gone. Not on the table, not also on the floor. Nowhere. I live alone. I tore my apartment looking for it. Nothing. Frustrated, I gave up and decided to go for a walk to clear my head. When I came back an hour later, the book was sitting perfectly centered on the coffee table, closed. My heart started pounding. I opened it. It fell open to the exact page I had been looking at. And there, in the margin, next to the paragraph, written in blue pen, in handwriting almost identical to mine, were the words, "You already know this." I don't write in my books, guys, ever. And I definitely didn't write that. I feel like I'm going crazy. That's it for today, guys. See you in the next video. Bye.